Hey guys, Braylio here, or I guess you should probably be calling me by my name, Jason. My name is Jason. Anyway, I think that's how I'll introduce these videos. Hey guys, Jason here. Anyway, I basically wanted to introduce kind of a new series, something that I had an idea for that I think I want to do. At least right now I think I want to do it. Later on I might not want to anymore. But I guess that's how everything works out, isn't it? Anyway. So here's my idea. I want to make a college vlog. Now I used to have Fraylio's vlog that I came out with once a week about WoW, is what that was about. And then there was my weekly vlog that I was doing that was about basically everything. It covered everything. And while I may still do those and generally call those a general update, excuse me, I want to do one about college that I'll at least start off doing every day. And it might turn into sort of a, weekly thing, maybe even bi-weekly, maybe once a month, maybe it won't even continue. I don't know, but for now, I want to do it every day, starting today. Right now, it is August 18th, yep, and it is 12:21 a.m. on the 18th, and basically this is day -2, day -2. So it's not day 0, the day before. It's not day 1, the first day. It's 2 days prior to the day before. So, yeah. Anyway, so my classes start August 22nd. I'm signed up for 6 classes at MSCD, which is Metropolitan State College of Denver, here in Denver, Colorado. I am majoring in English and minoring in secondary education. Essentially, that's me wanting to become an English teacher. Weird, right? But it's what I've wanted to do. Now, ever since I was a little kid, and really little, I've always wanted to teach. When you look through all my things, you can kind of ignore what's in the background. I can't really do anything on here and think at the same time, but I'll get to that in a minute. But WoW has nothing to do with this. I'm just on here, so I decided to video. Anyway, ever since I was a little kid, everything that said what I want to be when I grow up was always a teacher. Always, always, it said I want to be a teacher. Now, honestly, that might have started out, at the very beginning, me just basically brown-nosing the teacher and being like, hey, I want to be a teacher, give me a good grade, look up to me, think I'm a good kid. Might have been out like that, I don't really remember. However, not anymore. I mean, now I really want to do this. Originally I thought, I kind of want to do something in graphical design, or game design, or something of web design, or something of that sort. But, that's more of a hobby, not a job, and I really don't want to mix business with pleasure. Oh, I know what I'm liking. I'm rendering a video in the background. But, so that's what I want to do. So I decided to go to MSCD, to Metro, to do this. Anyway, now my 6 classes that I've signed up for, and it goes through this whole thing, and if I push it and do summer classes and everything, I might be able to do this in 3 years, minus my student teaching program being I will not be certified as a teacher. However, I will have my bachelor's degree, and I can do that post-graduation. Do I want to do that post-graduation? Maybe not. Maybe I'll continue that along, and if that does take longer, start classes towards a master's in teaching, perhaps. Don't really know how that works. Anyway, my 6 classes right now are, of course, English. I'm taking a, basically, freshman composition called the essay. So I'm taking that. I'm taking a philosophy class, a psychology class, a speaking class, as you have to be a teacher. You have to be good at speaking, so there is that. I'm also taking Eastern Asian history, which is awesome. And, let's see, there's one other, math. Basically some easy calculus. Now, a lot of you may be thinking that doesn't really go together, but if you look through my math book, you'd see that this calculus really isn't that hard. If you've done algebra and some geometry, you can kind of mix them and create, calculus. Or just use a calculator. Oh, you'd need a good one for this, though. Anyway, so that's what I'm taking. I'm really excited for it. I went to DeVry for a short period of time in something I had no interest in, and the classes really just weren't for me. It's not the type of schooling I want to do, so I ended up just stopping that after a semester and moving elsewhere. Unfortunately, none of those credits would really be applied where I'm going now. So, yeah. Now, I said I'd explain what's in the background. Right now, I'm on World of Warcraft. What I wanted to do was at least start out making these videos on something I'm relaxing, having a good time, and I'm just kind of talking about my day and college and what's up and, you know, how I'm doing mentally with this whole adaptation into the transitioning life of a college student. And really, it's a big change, but I'll explain that change in a minute. Anyway, so that's why I'm on World of Warcraft. It may be another game, it might not be a game, I might just be doing something, I might make a picture, it might turn into an IRL vlog, to where I'm just bringing my phone around and using the camera on my phone or something and taking video. Maybe I'm walking through the campus and talking, maybe I'm just walking around the house, maybe I'm outside. I don't know. But it is what it is. If there's something you think you'd like to see, or maybe a format you'd like better, like, maybe, yeah, go walk through the park or something and talk. You know, even if we're just looking at the park. It's more interesting than seeing WoW or something. Maybe it's too distracting watching WoW even though you're not talking about it. I'd rather just listen, or whatever. But basically, these videos are for you to just listen to, not watch. At least not right now. So, you know, tab back into WoW or whatever you're doing and do it. Now, this is also kind of a vlog. If you're starting college this fall, or you're going to be starting next year or something, and you're just kind of interested in basically how it's going for somebody else and getting an idea of how it feels and what it's like, then by all means, this is for you. This is the whole point of this. This isn't to bore you. This is just for those of my viewers who are going to be college students or are college students or some various part of that. Now, the reason why I said it's a big transition is I'm not coming straight from high school and going into college. Being my introductory video for this series, I might as well explain and give you a true introduction, basically a backstory. I was a good student. Here we go. It starts out, I was a good student. That always turns out to, but that didn't last. But anyway, please bear with me. I was a good student. I was a 4.0 student. In elementary school, I wasn't, mainly because a couple of my teachers just refused to give A's. Why? Because if you got an A, it means there was no place to improve. If you got a B, there was, you know, somewhere that you could still improve. However, a C is generally what they gave everybody, including my art teacher, who was Mrs. Unger. That it annoyed the heck out of me. I even skipped her class a couple of times and went down to gym. I used to love gym, Mr. Z, back at University Park Elementary. Ah, what a great time. He was a cool teacher, just always having a good time, but still doing our exercise stuff and our physical education, and it was a great experience. I loved it. I loved PE at that point in time. Miss Unger, I kind of liked art, but she was kind of mean, but at the same time, looking back, she was a decent teacher. She knew what she was talking about. She was teaching it in a well-structured format. However, she just wasn't very lenient, and I learned to live with that, and I learned to love that. If any of you have been in my guild in WoW during Wrath of the Lich King, you would know exactly what I'm talking about, and exactly how structured and strict you can be. That's what I've learned to love. But anyway, I was a good student. Moving on. Middle school, great student. Straight A's, you know, 4.0 grade point average. I was always shooting to be the number one. Always. Always looking at the posted grades, making sure that my name was on the top of that list with the highest GPA, or the highest percentile, making sure that I was always over 100%. I did every extra credit assignment. My teachers discouraged me from doing it because I didn't need to, but I always pushed for it. And then in high school, I had a 4.3 grade point average in my freshman year at South High School, and then I went to CEC Middle College in 10th grade. I started there a little bit late into 10th grade, but I went there and everything kind of fell to crap. Fell to hell? Fell to hell. That's, it's so rhymey it sounds foreign. Fell to hell. Kind of Swedish. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. It's late, like I said. It's now 12:30 in the morning, and, given I did get up a bit late, but I kind of had a busy day, so, yeah, I'm a little tired. But, okay, so everything kind of fell to crap. I started out really well, but I went there mainly for social reasons. Is why I changed schools, not for an educational reason. And I was just so sick of school at that point. And the teachers were so much easier than they were at South. Classes were so easy that they were actually boring that I decided I don't care about the work. I'm not going to do it. It's a waste of time. I don't know really why I thought that and how that ever happened. From being a 4.3 grade point average to that. And I was even in ROTC, JROTC, in freshman year, and I was a company commander by the end of my first year. I mean, that's a big deal. I don't know how it just fell to crap, but it did. And I was sort of trying to catch back up. In my junior year, I started at DPS Online High School. I got myself out of the situation I was in, and I was trying to focus on getting my grades up. But doing an online school was such a bad idea that the teachers were nice, but they were not up on top of the work. Not like an online professor, for example, would be. It just was not getting taken care of. You could hardly get in contact with them. It just wasn't a very good experience whatsoever. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to stop this. In the middle of the year, I decided I'm going to stop this, and I'm just going to get my GED and be done with this, move on, go to college. So that's what I did. I had an amazing test score in my GED. Sorry, I didn't mention I had like a 27 or something like that on my ACT that I took, that I did take in my sophomore year. Even though my grades were going all to crap, I still took that and did well. I always did good on tests. Even if I didn't study the material, I always did decent on a test. That's what kept me afloat. But anyway, so I got my GED, scored very well on that. Everybody was very impressed. I decided to go into DeVry. I felt very pressured because my parents were nice enough to allow me to basically drop out of school and get my GED, that I absolutely had to get into college ASAP. I was pretty happy with what I heard about DeVry. I was even looking at ITT. I wasn't thinking of a conventional school, as it wasn't the start of a semester for me. So I wasn't really delaying. I was just going for it, and so I ended up going into something I wasn't going to enjoy at all at DeVry. And that's where I'm at now. I no longer go to DeVry. I've been out of school for over 2 years, and out of work for a few months, I believe. Yeah, I'd say a few months. I haven't had work since last November on Election Day, and then prior to that, I worked with the census from, I think, April to August. So those are my last 2 jobs. Horrible, right? Just absolutely horrible. I have not been able to get work. I've been looking for work. I have a couple possible openings, for example, one down at Savers. But I really have to work with my schedule, and right now that I'm going into school, that's what I'm focusing on. So that's also something I would suggest to those of you looking into school. Don't ever feel pressured into getting a job unless you absolutely have to. A job needs to come second when you're focusing on your education, especially if you're still able to live at home with parents, or maybe live with a sibling, or maybe if you've already gotten married at an early age, and or you've moved in with somebody that you're with at an earlier age, then, I mean, if they can afford to support you, maybe with a part-time job on just weekends or some evenings, then that's what you need to do. But you definitely need to focus on school first. It's a big deal, and with the job market nowadays, it's an absolute necessity. If you have the ability to go to college, you need to do it. Now, I would look to at least start at a community college. If nothing else, get your core things out of the way, and even if you have to take a year or 2 off, guess what? Those are still there for you to fall back on, and at least you have some college education. You can put that down and you have proof. And then if you decide to follow, say, a bachelor's degree in something, you can apply those, and maybe just take a year or maybe even 2 years of classes and be done. And that's actually really good, being able to format it around that. That's also why I like Metro. It's an open admissions, meaning, you're pretty much accepted no matter what. And if you don't pass their AccuPlacer, you'll probably still be accepted, but you have to take some classes prior to the main courses and everything starting. Anyway, so that's that, and that's my backstory. So I'm now going from a couple years of not doing any schooling whatsoever, and coming from being a good student to a bad student and all that. It's a big transition for me again. Been out of school a couple of years. Right now, I am downstairs in my house looking over at my stack of school stuff that I have ready. I have so many books. Oh, so much stuff. I'm only allowed to take up to 6 classes. They think you should only take 4, but 5 is probably doable. 6 is definitely overload, but, I mean, you can probably pull it off if you're a really good student and really focused on it, but it's a lot of workload. And I decided if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to go all the way with it. Yes, I always tend to do it. I tend to jump head first. You know, I dive in, and that's that. Maybe that's why I wear myself out so easy. But I have just a huge stack. If you stand up next to it, it probably goes up, if you're an average height person, I don't know, maybe 5'8" to 5'10", it probably goes up to at least your knee, at the very least, if not higher up to halfway up your thigh, or your upper leg. It's a very tall stack of stuff, and I've got another textbook coming in, hopefully tomorrow, or I guess today, since today's technically the 18th. So, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And my textbooks, that's something that you're going to have to expect to pay out of your own pocket, most likely. Textbooks were over $500, close to $600 for all my classes. That's a lot. I mean, that is an incredible amount when you're buying them all at the same time. However, the rest of school supplies tend to be pretty cheap. You know, notebooks, folders, a backpack. You know. But for those of you who don't know Denver, Metro is basically right next to downtown Denver. It sits on the Auraria campus, which is one of the very first parts of Denver here in Colorado. And it basically expanded from there. It is literally across the parking lot from the Pepsi Center, if you know of the Pepsi Center. And it's literally just a couple blocks away from what used to be Six Flags Elitch's, and is now just Elitch's again. So if you know of either of those, it's right next to that. But it's pretty awesome. What else? What else? Well, I'm going to be uploading some other videos as well, so be sure to check out all my new videos. If you're actually interested in me continuing this, which I probably will regardless, just leave a comment letting me know that, you know, this is cool. If there's something you want me to talk about specifically about college as I go day by day, you know, let me know. I'll definitely do my best. I am going to be focused on my classes, and then I'm going to be focused on possibly trying to do some extracurricular type of stuff with this, and then focused on a job, and then focused on video games. Yes. Sadly, video games are on the bottom of my list when it comes to this. It's a shame, it really is. Oh, there's something I wanted to say. I have a class at 6:30 in the morning. I have to take the light rail, the train from a station probably 6 miles away, and I have to take that down to the campus. So all in all, it takes me about 45 minutes to get down to the campus, and probably another 10 minutes to get to that class. So it's going to take me at least an hour of time to be completely prepared and make it there. And that means I have to leave before 5:30, and I'm going to be driving, so I want to be up for at least a half an hour prior to driving. So I'm going to have to be up like 5 or earlier, which means if I'm shooting for at least 7 hours of sleep, I have to be to bed by 10. Ha! You know, like that's going to happen. It's going to have to happen. Which also means I like to stop raiding and doing stuff at least an hour before I go to bed. And, so, yeah, I'll be off of the game by 9 o'clock on Sunday and Tuesday nights. Meaning, on those 2 big raid nights, I won't be able to raid, and I was really hoping to get a couple of raid nights in a week And unfortunately, a lot of the decent teams that I'm looking at that are casual enough, friendly enough, and people I know are on those types of days and that late. So, I mean, that's just rough. Because I still love me my games. I sure do. Anyway, so that's just my first video. The next day, which will be the 19th, which is Friday, will be day -1. So look forward to another video then. That'll probably be me becoming a little more nervous, if you will, about everything going on. But it's all good. It is all good. Not a big deal. College? Pshaw. Whatever, right? Alright, so that's that. If you happen to be going to Metro, or if you happen to have a guild that is looking for someone who can raid, oh god, what would be good nights for me? Now, I don't have classes on the weekends or Thursdays, so Wednesday night, Friday night, and Saturday night would be 3 absolutely perfect evenings to raid. Not too late, definitely not too late, but not too early to where it's still afternoon either. So in the evenings of Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, if you happen to have a guild that's doing that and is doing Firelands progression, and wants a guy that's a decent player, might not be completely decked out in gear, as I haven't been able to raid in a while, then, you know, let me know. I'm leveling other characters too, so if there's a specific character or class I can level for you, let me know. If nothing else, even if I don't end up joining the guild or something, it gives me something to work towards. As I'm working on my warrior now, who used to be and still really is my main. Still love him. You see that mount? Check out this mount. Oh yeah, that's right. I have all them achievements. Ah yeah, Glory of the Ulduar Raider, Glory of the Ice Crown Raider. Kind of funny that I got that half a month earlier than the Ulduar one. But, you know, it's what we were working on. Anyway, alright guys, thanks for watching. Please be sure to thumbs up and subscribe. And until the next video, I have been Jason, and I will see you in the next episode.